Recently, my niece graduated from USF with a nursing degree, so needless to say, we're all very proud of her. And I remember some years ago, I wrote her a letter when she graduated from high school. And as a godfather, I was giving her some friendly advice on what to expect in college and basically what to expect in the future years of her life. And I came up with 5 things. I said I would have come up with 10 things and given them as a Letterman top 10 list, but since I don't have the writers that Letterman did, I only came up with 5. Sue me. So the first thing that I told her is that there's essentially 3 types of people in the world. There are people that make things happen. And you may have heard these, read these on some of these motivational speeches or things, plaques that they sell. And there are people that make things happen. And this is the group that you need to be in from time to time in your life. You can't be there all the time, unless you're Steve Jobs, but at any rate, you need to be there from time to time so that you make progress in your life. Now, the second group of people are the people that watch things happen. Now, this isn't necessarily a bad thing because when you're not making things happen, you kind of need to, take a rest and take a look around and watch things happen. Look for opportunities. Watch for what other people are doing, and more importantly, watch for the mistakes that other people make, because you learn more from your mistakes than you do from doing things correctly. Now, the third group of people are the people that wonder what happened. This is the group of people that you never want to be in. Okay, you never want to be able to sit there and kind of wonder what just happened to me. I don't know how I got here. I don't know what to do. Last place in the world you want to be. So that was one of the things that I told her. Tip number 4. I went back to a very, very early age about a poem that I had learned in kindergarten, of all things. And the poem went like this. It went, "There was an old owl who lived in an oak. The more he saw, the less he spoke. The less he spoke, the more he heard. Now wasn't he a wise old bird?" Now, the thing about this is of course, you need to be able to listen to people as well as speak to people. By listening to people, you listen and you understand the reasons for wanting to do things. Now, as a corollary to that, and something that's much more important, is that you should be listening to what they don't say. Because what they don't say basically will reveal to you what their motivations are. So you listen to what they do say, but more importantly, you listen to what they don't say. Tip number 3, and this is something that I wish I had learned many years ago. Now, I'm going to throw out a lot of numbers here for you, so just kind of sit and bear with me. The average college graduate graduates, and on average, makes about $50,000 a year, at least to the last thing that I read. The average high school graduate makes about $26,000 a year. You graduated from college, you made the right choice. You're on the right track. Now, if you make that money, here's the thing. If you earn $50,000 and you overpay your taxes and you pay 25% in taxes, I don't know what taxes on $50,000 a year is, and you average and you work for Verizon and you get maybe 0.75% raise a year, and you take 17.5% of your take-home pay and you invest it in something that makes a paltry 3% a year, okay? What that means is if you start at the age of 22, by the time, if there is such a thing as early retirement, when you get there at 62, you will have accumulated $535,650. At which point, if you take 5% out every year, and you keep that nest egg going at 3%, you can take out $26,750 a year until you are age 93. Good deal. Now, let's take the typical scenario. You graduate from college and yeehaw, I'm out of the house. I don't have to go to college anymore. I am free. And you don't save until you turn 30 years old. What happens then is by the time you get to 62, you now have $375,645. So what you have is 30% less money than if you had started saving when you first went out of school. More importantly than that is that now you will run out of money at age 80 instead of age 93. You have to understand finances. Okay? Another tip that I gave her was that when you go out and look for a job, the cruel facts of life are when people are basically hiring people, they do one of 5 things. They look for people that they already know of inside the company. Oh, excuse me, they look for people that they already know inside or outside the company. They look for people that are already working in the company. They look for recommendations for people that they know and trust. Or they get lazy and they hire a professional recruiter who basically vets the prospective employee, or they place want ads. Long and the short of it is, cronyism and nepotism is alive and well in the world.
This is true.
Okay? Life is not fair. People who get promotions, people who get the jobs, more times than not, it's because of who they know and not what they know. So, that was tip number 2. Now, tip number 3. This is my daughter's favorite. The reason why it's my daughter's favorite is because my daughter helped me. I am going to tell you the story about Ellie the elephant. Now, if you've never heard the story about Ellie the elephant was the sweetest elephant that ever lived. And every day when Ellie woke up, she said to herself, "Today, I will make somebody's life better." So, Ellie the elephant gave money to relatives. Ellie the elephant did favors for her friends. And Ellie the elephant helped out all of her neighbors. Talk about networking, huh? Okay, so one day, Ellie the elephant's house burns down.
Oh.
And Ellie the elephant says, "That's okay, because I have family and friends and neighbors, and they'll help me as I help them." But no one came. So Ellie the elephant, whoops, I'm ahead of myself here. Sorry. So Ellie the elephant gathered together all of her relatives and friends and neighbors that she had helped, and she pounced on their heads. Now, what in the world could possibly come of that? Okay, here's the thing. Oh, God. This was bad planning from the word go. Okay, if you need to plan things just like you plan your finances, you plan for contingency plans as well. That just kind of threw me off stride there. But in short, okay, again, since my speech is get to the point, here are the points. Points is, don't confuse bad luck for bad planning. Not to be done. Since you have an education, you went to school to learn how to think for yourself, how to solve problems. That's why you went to school, not to follow other people's line of thinking. You need to listen to people so that you know how to spot rip-offs and the people who are trying to rip you off. And lastly, you need to learn how the world works, and the point that I missed on Ellie the elephant there, okay, was that if you do a good deed for somebody, you do the good deed to do the good deed, not because you want something else from somebody. You do it because it's the right thing to do and you want to do it. So you need to learn how the world works, and for lack of a better way of expressing it, how to get to the next world as well. Thank you.
Excellent.